In the heart of a crumbling city, where buildings stood like rotting teeth, a man named Thomas awoke in his dingy apartment. The peeling wallpaper stared back at him like the mocking laughter of a cruel audience. Each day bled into the next, an endless, monotonous stream of nothingness that poisoned his soul. Thomas had once been a hopeful man. He had aspirations, dreams of conquering the world. But life had other plans, and those dreams were slowly choked by the suffocating tendrils of disillusionment. Like so many others, he was trapped in the merciless jaws of a mundane existence, toiling away at a job that gnawed at his spirit and left him hollow. His days were spent behind the counter of a small convenience store, selling cigarettes and cheap liquor to weary souls seeking a temporary escape from their own personal hells. They were an ever-changing cast of lost souls, a parade of despair that marched past him, day after day. The nights were even worse. In the oppressive darkness of his apartment, Thomas would lie awake, staring at the water-stained ceiling, as the weight of his own hopelessness bore down upon him. The silence was a thick, suffocating blanket that smothered any fleeting thoughts of happiness. In these darkest hours, he felt the icy grip of depression close around his heart, and he would question if there was any point in going on. Thomas had no family to speak of, no friends to lean on in his darkest moments. His parents had passed away long ago, leaving him to face the cruel world alone. He had no siblings, no spouse, no children. He was an island unto himself, adrift in a sea of sorrow. The city around him was a perfect reflection of his own desolation. Grey skies hung over the streets like a shroud, casting the world in a permanent state of twilight. The air was thick with smog, each breath a reminder of the decay that surrounded him. Even the trees lining the sidewalks seemed to droop, their leaves wilted and brown, as if they too had lost the will to live. Thomas's days were marked by a single, monotonous rhythm: wake, work, sleep, repeat. It was a pattern that had repeated itself for years, and with each passing day, his spirit grew weaker, more fragile. He had long ago given up any hope of breaking free from this vicious cycle, resigning himself to a life of emptiness and despair. One day, as he walked home through the desolate streets, Thomas found himself standing at the edge of a bridge. The dark water below seemed to call to him, beckoning him to join its cold embrace. For a moment, he considered the possibility of release, of freedom from the crushing burden of his existence. But even in this, he found no solace. He knew that if he leaped, it would be just another futile act in a life defined by futility. In the end, he turned away, trudging back to his apartment to face another sleepless night. And so Thomas continued, a walking spectre in a dead world, his dreams long since buried beneath the crushing weight of his own hopelessness. Each day, a funeral procession; each night, a mournful dirge. A testament to the unforgiving, relentless march of time and the merciless grip of despair.